Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So, is Bitcoin in trouble? Look at the chart. It's at 26,100. So today, let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and should we be worried? Let's get started. Well, welcome, guys. Happy Saturday. Like I said, look at the chart. It's not looking good, right? We fell down from all the way up there, the big drop right here, right? And now we are going sideways. So what prompted this? I'm not going to speculate anymore. I have done so for the last 2 days, right? But the main thing is, are we going to come back up, right? All the headlines are looking pretty bleak, like this one. Bitcoin breaks below 26,000 post worst week since May of this year, right? Also, you could argue that we have not seen a big drop like this since the FTX days, which was all the way back in 2022, right? So, I mean, the headlines are looking pretty bad. Does that mean Bitcoin is in trouble? Well, here, I'm going to put things into perspective for you guys. This is the crash. When you zoom out, does the crash even register? And the answer is no. Okay, that's why there's this phrase, the saying, when in doubt, zoom out when it comes to Bitcoin. Because as nasty as this seems, it barely registers. I don't think even register at all on this chart. Okay, so that should tell you Bitcoin is doing quite okay. Is not in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to lead off with that. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging with that thought of whether or not Bitcoin's in trouble, because it's not. It's not. We have seen much worse drops throughout Bitcoin's history, right? And this one that we experienced is nothing, especially for those of you guys, I think a lot of you guys survived 2022. In 2022, I mean, even on a grand scheme of things, 2022 barely is noticeable. It's just like a little bit of a fall, right? And that's because Bitcoin has been going up so much over the years. That's why all these little dips hardly register. Okay, so is Bitcoin in trouble? No. We had some FUD. Obviously, we had some FUD, some SpaceX selling off FUD, also Evergrande FUD, and some other, other FUD that's going around, about currencies collapsing and all these other things, right? But just know that Bitcoin is doing its thing. There will be short-term volatility, but in the grand scheme of things, these short-term volatilities mean nothing, and people forget about it. I bet you guys don't even remember the last time, right? We had such a big fall. If I didn't give you guys a heads up, and that was, back in like sometime May of 2022 when FTX collapsed, right? And here's the other thing to remember is number of HODLed coins and or lost coins, you kind of bundle them together, okay? Keeps on going higher and higher and higher and higher, right? So that's why I've been saying the fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been stronger. Over 75% of Bitcoin is being held by long-term holders. Hash rate is at an all-time high. Number of addresses, all-time high, right? So fundamental of Bitcoin has never been better, and it's just a matter of time before the price recovers and catches up and actually really reflects that, okay? There's many periods within a 4-year cycle where the price is trailing the fundamentals, and eventually it catches up and breaks through. It always does. So, bottom line is, like what CZ says, think what Michael Saylor is doing. If you are in doubt, right, what do you think Michael Saylor is doing at this point? Probably thinking about his Bitcoin strategy and buying more Bitcoin, because Michael Saylor is an ultra Bitcoin bull and continues to add and load more and more and more Bitcoin I hate to say it, Michael Saylor himself holds a substantial amount of Bitcoin that could have been in your hands. But no, it's in his hands now, and he continues to buy tens to hundreds of millions of more Bitcoin every single year, and he is just one person. The other big entities and institutions, they are going to be doing the same thing. So don't let small little dips or volatilities scare you away from your life-changing wealth or your financial freedom, because these big boys do not care. They will continue to load up and DCA over time, especially when there is golden opportunities like this, when there's volatility. I would not be surprised Michael Saylor comes out in another week or so and announce that he purchased, I don't know, another $150 million to the Bitcoin or $300 million Bitcoin. I mean, he announced it after the fact, right? But I have no doubt that he's going to be taking advantage of the opportunity that is with us right now, right? So just want to start off with that. I know a lot of you guys are still kind of worried, still kind of scared, wondering if Bitcoin's will go lower. The naysayers now seem to have a little more ammunition. When we were hovering at 29, 30,000, naysayers, no one listened to them. Now they're getting a little more traction, but just know that this is nothing. It doesn't even register on the grand scheme of things, right? So keep that in mind. Now, speaking of CZ, right, there is a lot of Binance FUD. There always seems to be a lot of Binance FUD out of nowhere, okay? Like just yesterday, I had one of my Patreon members reach out to me, send me these screenshots. I don't know where he got them from. Supposedly, Binance is having, liquidity problems, and they're going to dump BNB and all this. And I'm like, that makes no sense. It surprised me that he even asked me about it, because I mean, he's been with me for a long time, and he's getting a little scared too. So there's always like a lot of Binance scare for some reason, right? And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It just seems like that's the ammunition that the bears or the naysayers want to spread to kind of cause more panic. But I did see a couple things from Binance today. Binance considers legal action after Checkout.com terminates partnership, citing regulators. Okay, they're a little afraid of the SEC, I guess. So Binance considers legal action. I didn't even know Checkout.com was like a fiat on-ramp partner for Binance. Had no clue about it. But there is something else that they're coming out with that I also had no clue, and it could be quite exciting. We've been hearing a lot about L2s coming out, right, especially for Ethereum. Now, Binance launched their own L2 called OPBNB chain, which is L2 for Binance Smart Chain, utilizing BNB. They're using the Optimism stack to do this, but this is all based on BNB, right? And their Binance Smart Chain, which is kind of interesting. Did not know that they were working on this, but, they are. So Binance continues to build and grow and build and grow, and that's what CZ's model is, to just build when things are low and scary, right? Because that's the right way to do it. That's how you get bigger. You build, and then you profit later. Just like investors, you buy low and then you sell high. Same kind of thing, right? Outside of Binance, speaking of layer 2, Shibarium, Satoshi Kusama posted another blog post about how they're still working at it, okay? They've tested whatever their whole Shibarium chain has been frozen for a couple of days. They've tested, restarted internally, seems to be good. But also they partner up with the Alchemy team, which I guess utilizing their validators and their hardware, they're able to scale Shibarium by 1,500%. I don't know what that means exactly, whether or not, because it says right here, top-notch metal infrastructure, which means I think Alchemy are just using better hardware. And whatever validators that Shib was using for Shibarium must have been crap, because I think that's all it is. It's just better hardware to scale 1,500%, right? So we'll see. I don't know the it's supposed to be a layer 2. It's supposed to be fast, right? So the fact that it shut down due to too many transactions, I don't know, like inherently how much transactions it can handle, right? But we'll see. So they have this partnership with Alchemy Pay to utilize their infrastructure, and they, you know, she recently opened up a $2 million insurance fund to make sure that, you know, people that have their ETH locked in are not afraid. Total bridge right now about 2.2 million in total value. ETH Bone adds up about 2.2 million, right? So they're working on it. Hopefully they get that solved, and then dApp makers will come on board. But right now it seems like it is still down. All right, and then lastly, you know, the layer 2 from Coinbase Base actually surpassed the daily transactions of both Optimism and Arbitrum, which is quite amazing. I don't know. It could be just a temporary hype bump, right? Because it just launched. But if you look at this chart right here, which I cannot zoom in anymore, but you could see Arbitrum has been going down. Optimism has been going up, but Base just skyrocketed recently right after their launch. So again, it could be temporary, but we'll see. We'll see. And then two other things I noticed that will get you guys fired up. Number one is SBF. He barely just made it to jail, but now his lawyers are going back to the judge saying, hey, he needs to be, he needs his freedom for weekday, the whole basic whole week, Monday to Friday, because he needs that for his legal defense work. Okay. Somehow in jail, he can't do that. Although he had all this time before he went to jail, he had all this time to prepare for his legal defense, but yet, that wasn't enough. So now they're requesting for him to be released Monday through Friday to work on his legal defense, right? Again, I'm sure he could do it. It's not optimal, but what work is he doing anyways? It's all his lawyers doing it. So I don't know. And why not just do it on the weekend rather than weekdays, right? So he just got in there, but obviously that's a place that no one wants to be. So we'll see. And then lastly, some controversy over Opensea. Opensea is caving in, and they plan on removing royalties for creators. As a creator, you could put a royalty in there so that if your NFT sells in the secondary market, like whoever who bought it from you sells it to someone else, you could charge a royalty on top of that. But Opensea is removing it, and that makes Mark Cuban really pissed off because he's an investor in Opensea, and also Yuga Labs. They're pissed off because now Yuga Labs is thinking about pulling all their collections out and not working with Opensea anymore because, one of the great things, I guess, about like Bored Apes and Mutant Apes and everything else is that there's a robust secondary market, and they want to make sure that continues. So if they pull out of Opensea, I don't know if they're going to come out with their own NFT marketplace or what, but that is also controversial right now. All right, that is pretty much it. You know what? George Effect is kicking in somewhat, a little bit, 26,178. XRP is going up a little bit. I saw on Twitter people say they posted this thing about the SEC now recognizes XRP as a non-security, so that's good, but they still have a case against Ripple. So until that settles, not sure XRP could hit its true potential. But overall today, just like barely in the green. We're definitely in recovery mode. People are still scared about what's going on with Bitcoin and the entire market cap. But just know that this barely registers on when you zoom out. Let's just say it that way. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if I missed anything. Michael says, zoom out. That is right. Let's see. Let's sail with Sailor. I really would not. I really expect him to come out and say, well, we purchased another $150 million worth of Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure that is going to happen. Let's see. Omar says, I went crypto thrifting this morning. That's good. Mark Cuban is upset because Dallas Mavericks still sucks. I really thought they would trade Kyrie, but I guess they're sticking with him. But I just don't see how Kyrie and Luka could work together. Rich, hey, I'm glad you changed your thumbnail. I mean, or not thumbnail, your profile picture. We got through 2022. This is nothing. Exactly right. This is nothing. Again, like everything else that we have gone through, we will get through this together and we will forget about this. Kelly has a good analogy. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. Write that down. Kelly, that's pretty good. I'm going to steal that from you. That's pretty good. I'm going to use that analogy in the future. Blair 321 said, George, between me and you, except everyone else is reading this, I can't wait to change my wife in 2024, 2025, the next bull run. Make sure she doesn't see that or watching this right now. So I don't know if it's just between us. Eli, thanks for being there. Stay strong. Hold on, DCA. Thank you. Same to you. Ben Johnson, I see what you did there. I'm not sure I like it, but thanks. Stoom Boot K Jeff, what do you think about Cody as a stable of Cardano? I mean, you mean DGen? I don't know how many are actually supporting and using it. Because on the DEXs of Cardano, they're still just straight up all ADA trading pairs. I don't see many DGen trading pairs at all. So I don't know how successful that is. Yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. Great time to accumulate. That's how I look at it. No fear. Yes. Erman says, I've invested in 20 crypto projects. Is that too much? And can I see a 10 to 20x potential? Yes, most certainly. From these levels to the next high, 10 to 20 is very easy. Very easy. But also depends on what you have. But most of these great projects are still 10x down, right? That's just to get to their previous high. So we're going to break through that. So 10 to 20, I'd say pretty likely. Am I going to watch the start of college football? I've never been a college football guy. So, no. But I know a lot of people will be watching. George, how many last cycle coins ended up making all-time highs? Every single one except XRP. Every single one that was popular in 2017 formed a brand new high in 2021, a way higher high in 2021. And many new projects that came out in like 18, 19, 20 all formed new highs in 2021. The only one that I know of that did not was XRP, honestly. I mean, XRP formed its high in 2018, very beginning of 2018 or end of 2017, hit like 370, 380, and it got nowhere close to that. It hit like close to $2 in 2021. But everything else shot up way higher. So I don't think anything's going to be different this time around. That's why I think all these coins, almost all the good ones, the ones that are still building with great leadership, with a great community, they will break through their highs of 2021 easily in 2025. Brendan says false. Neo did not because they're not a good project. That's why. They did not. I don't know what happened to Neo. They were one of the promising ones in 2017, and then 18, 19, 20, they worked on their Neo 3 for like 3-4 years, delayed massively. No one knew what was going on. I think they finally released it. They just lost all momentum. That's why in 2021 they didn't do much, because everyone gave up on them. So you can't lose the faith of the investors, right? Once they leave, they never come back, really. Thoughts on Tesla? Is it a buy? I think so, but it could go lower. I was looking at the charts the other day. Tesla could certainly go down to like it could go down to like 210, 200. That was a previous resistance. So it could go down a little bit lower, but I would say where it is right now, about 215, is actually a pretty good buying spot. Buying point, I guess, right? But yeah, if you see the last over here, and then over here, right? So this is a little bit lower, about 208. I think Tesla's go bounce off of there, like right around this level, between 208 and 210. And on a daily chart, RSI is below, about to be below 30. So I think it could be a good pickup spot. And for Bitcoin, if you're looking at it, yeah, RSI is definitely, you can see right here, RSI is at 20. It's very oversold on the daily chart. And yeah, if you look at the 4-hour, the RSI got so low, it was as low as this point right here, right? So yeah. Like to see a U-shape or V-shape recovery right back up to where we were, 29.3, 30. Maybe this week. Bob, happy Saturday. Do you think AVAX will surpass its all-time high? Yes, I certainly do. Chris, do you think Gala can reach his all-time high with his current market cap? I'm going to cling on hope and say yes, but they have a lot of work to do. They got decimated because NFTs got decimated. So their NFT games are just not that popular. People just dumped everything. Their V2 transition wasn't as smooth as expected. Coinbase didn't support it. So some bumps in the road. But they, they're still, I think, the biggest gaming platform that we have in the crypto ecosystem. Yeah, but they're still down like 99% or 98%. So they have a long way to go to get back to its previous highs. But I'm clinging on hope. I don't think they have given up. So what do you think about Elrond? I have not heard anything about Elrond for a long time. I don't know what's going on with Elrond, or Multiverse X, I should say. Thoughts on September dip? I think we just went through a pretty major dip. U.S. market has gone through a big dip since July. I think a lot of scare over what's happening in China right now. DXY has come up a bit. I don't know if it's going to continue. September could be a great month. And this month, we're just barely past halfway point. August is not over. Thoughts on Cadena right now and his future? Pat, I'm just going to say I'm neutral on them. Got a bad taste in my mouth when I tried to reach out to founders and they wanted none of that. And also, I heard a lot of bad things. A lot of fighting, controversy, a lot of inside stories. I don't know. I don't know if it's to believe all of it or none of it, but I'm neutral. Troy, I don't think anyone's saying Cardano's dead. The funny thing is, okay, if you are a Cardano holder and someone proclaims it's dead, just remind them that Cardano is sitting in the top 10, okay, on CMC. In fact, it's not just top 10, it's at number 7, okay? Anything in the top 10 is not dead, okay? They would not be within the top 10, no matter what. It's not easy to stay up. That's what she said. But you guys know, like anything in the top 10, people that proclaim that Doge is dead or Solana is dead, they didn't check themselves because, yeah, it's sitting at number 8 and number 9 on CMC, right? They're not dead either. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. Go do whatever you guys want on Saturday. Bitcoin coming up a little bit as expected. Let's go bottom out and recover a little bit. So is Bitcoin dead? Right? It broke below 26,000. Is it dead? The answer is no. When you zoom out, whatever we went through doesn't even register. This is normal. There will be things that are scary, fuddish things, fuddish news, fuddish events that will drive Bitcoin down sometimes. But in grand scheme of things, it's nothing. We'll get through it, and you won't even remember later on. Right? So stay strong, stay focused, and continue to DCA. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys Monday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And tomorrow, I'll have a weekly recap video for you guys. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.